This is Dee Sealing. She's my business partner. And as Keena said, I've gone in different directions. And I had a day spa. I spoke here a couple years ago. And I'm back with the Pack Women, my new adventure. Wrong button. So who are the Pack Women? We're women-owned and operated. We just started our business in March. We have extensive experience from our personal lives. We have packed for families, friends, each other, opening, closing business, whatever. We've done it. We like what we do, and we work well together. So we bring people from this to this, hopefully. Home sale or rental preparation. You can bring us in to declutter, get rid of your personal items, etc. before you list. We can help you stage or refer a staging company if you need furniture in the home. Or we can come in and pack your home. We pack or unpack with or without you. That's one of the differences for us. If you can't physically do it, you're too far away to do it, you can't emotionally do it, or you simply don't want to do it, call us. We also help with decision making, what to keep, sell, donate, toss. The major reason for moves around this area especially is downsizing, and especially with seniors. We can help with the personal attachment issues. I can't get rid of that. My grandmother gave me that. Well, how many sets of china do you really need to bring with you when you go into your smaller home? We can help with estate cleanouts and estate assistance. We are both members of the Chamber of Commerce, Bethany Beach Chamber of Commerce, and we know a lot of people that can help with your needs, like realtors and lawyers and such. We can do it quickly with minimal instruction. We're not going through things like, oh, look at that. But no, maybe I should keep it, maybe I should get rid of it. So we help get through that process. What else do we do? Declutter and organizational help, hoarding help. We can clean out and organize your clothes closet. As this said, you can cut down your closet by 25%, asking yourself, if I was shopping right this second, would I buy it? If the answer is no, out it goes. Do you know what's in your pantry? My kids would not get anything out of my pantry without checking the expiration date, because I worked and traveled and never had time to go through the pantry. So we help with that. Can't get your car in the garage? We can help with that. Yard sale preparation and execution. We pretty much do it all. Senior relocation. We can get mom or grandmom or granddad from the assisted living wing to the nursing home. We can help pack what is what is needed to go from the house into a nursing home or assisted living. Why do we do it? There's an aging population in Sussex County. With so many retirees moving from out of state, we definitely saw a need. No one in the area is doing this, and we like doing it. One of the things that we're seeing is people have moved down here when they retired. 10, 15 years down the road, they've got grandbabies. They don't want to be here. They've got to move out. So that's another reason. Our target market, seniors, of course, loved ones of seniors that need help, anyone that needs help settling or cleaning out an estate, anyone that needs help with packing, unpacking, and organizing. I put up here new moms with babies. An acquaintance of mine said to me, where were you when I was moving into my new home, making settlement with a 2-week-old and a 2-year-old? She said it took her a year to unpack her house. Why choose the Pack Women? During our free estimates, we listen to what our clients want. We're not cookie cutter. And then we help understand what they really need. 'Cause what they might think they need, they may not particularly need. We treat our clients with kindness and respect. We handle their possessions like they are our own. Our goals for the future, a couple things that we want to move into that we haven't gotten to yet. Working with the armed forces. Those families have to move quickly as well and may not have the time or energy to get it done. And we want to expand to other areas of Delaware and Maryland. Right now we're concentrating on Ocean View, Dagsboro, Sussex County. We've done a lot with putting things into hospitals, etc. I think I'm done. Anybody has any questions?
Very good. Now we open the floor for questions, answers, and comments. And we'll start over here. Please make sure you're talking to the mic since we are recording it, and it helps that we don't miss any questions.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think you have a great business idea with a special target. I think so many people don't realize that they need you.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are you doing for marketing?
That's a really good question, because that's one of the reasons that I wanted to speak today. When you start a business, you're between a rock and a hard place. We don't have the funds to do marketing, per se, where we have to pay for it. So I'm trying to do things like this. I spoke at a women's group, speaking here. I'm speaking at the Ocean View Cheer Center in July. We've put our brochures into hospitals and nursing homes, assisted living, that sort of thing. We have the website. I'm very active in social media. But I haven't quite gotten my arms around the whole big picture. I'm trying to, I just said to Dee yesterday, my financial planner has a whiteboard that's a whole wall. We're going to go over there and try to get in there tomorrow or Friday and try to map out a daily marketing plan. But I can't afford to get a commercial out there at this point.
I have a suggestion.
Good.
Working with Miss Brenda up here, face-to-face interaction seems to be the most effective. Make personal relationships with nurses in the labor and delivery ward, because when they talk to their patients also, and then they'll say, I really wish I had somebody to come home with me to help me get situated with the baby. So then you'll come to mind, and they'll be more likely to talk to somebody who knows somebody personally instead of a complete stranger.
That's a good idea. Thank you. Appreciate that.
One thing I think I might have mentioned to you, but I'll bring it up again, is that by doing this here, we do an emotional, listen to me, email promotion about 1 Million Cups that does go out to about 1,000 people. So your name for the PAC women is in 1,000 email boxes,
Awesome.
give or take a few.
That's great.
All right?
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. It seems like you presented here before, correct?
I did. I had La Vita Bella Day Spa. I had it open for 4 years. I just closed it last October.
Okay. Great presentation, by the way, and I think you really hit all the right keys to making your business successful. I pick up on that marketing also. I was going to ask that, and how fast that you can actually move with respect to, how large is your organization? 2 of you, right? 2
of us.
Well,
we have people in the wings, though, that will come and work for us to help us out as we get jobs.
But probably you have to vet those people extensively because of the caliber of people that you're going to be selling your services to.
Yes.
Because I come from Lewis, and we're just exploding with people coming in, and those who are building, not only the retirees that are building, but also the new families that are actually being part and parcel of it would need your services. So I guess my question is, how fast can you actually expand, and how fast can you go to areas that have phenomenal growth. I know you come from Bethany, and I'm not,
Well, we're not
nothing
that
against
far,
Bethany.
yeah,
You've
we're
got
not that
it.
far from Lewis, so
Yeah.
fortunately, but
The amount of retirees that are moving in here and the people that need your help across the board, not just the retirees, but young families. I mean, people are paying for all types of what you're bringing to the table that I can't, at my young age, I can't believe people are paying, obviously, people like you to do for them what you do. But you have to expand, in my opinion, very quickly to catch this exploding marketplace
Exactly.
that's happening, I'll say at the beaches primarily. And, I mean, you can sell yourself across Sussex County, but where's the volume of the business, in my opinion, and the wealth that'll pay for the services that you're offering? I think it's the beach communities that'll probably do that for you.
I think that you're right.
So we've come full circle. How are you going to expand fast enough to capitalize on all of this?
I honestly couldn't tell you right now. I've got to work that out.
So that whiteboard better be filled
It
to
will
the
be
hill.
filled.
Are you using someone, a consultant to help you with this process?
No, I have not been.
So, okay.
Should I probably call the score guy, Len, or somebody that
Yeah.
can help me? Yeah,
So now
I think that's an idea.
I'm going to offer you a suggestion of where you could probably sell the service if you can get in to see them, and that's the property management people.
Yeah.
Just go up and down the beaches and see who is the property management people of these various developments to see if you can't sell them. And trust is a big factor, obviously, to use you as the people that they would suggest to others that need this. Lastly, you also have a lot of the retirement homes,
Yes.
retirement homes in that area, and you could possibly
Like
get
Brandywine.
in to see, yeah, Brandywine,
We've gone in there.
right, and talk to those people direct, because you know in this business it's going to be eyeball to eyeball that's going to sell the trust that's needed for this level of commitment, or at least that's my suggestion.
No, you're right. You're right.
So I'll turn it over to Lit. He's the real estate man.
At all.
At all. Okay.
Congratulations on closing the business that apparently wasn't working for you.
It was not.
Well, it takes a lot of courage to make that decision, just like you're saying, getting rid of the furniture that Aunt gave you,
Yeah.
closing a business that you
That was
have
tough.
a really vested interest in, heart and soul, and financial chances are, but the heart and soul is the hard part, to let that go and then spring back. So there is no chance that you won't succeed. I think all you need is the roadmap, as Michael is talking about. You're the entrepreneur, not the intra-manure. Difference,
Like that.
big difference. And over years, you'll see that difference. I would say that your financial arrangements are going to be important. I always go to the financial side of things because I think that's a weeder in terms of how broad your market's going to be. There's always a market in the markets that Mike's talking about at any price. There's someone there that is wealthy, disabled, can't do this. There's a whole series of conditions that can come about that would pay any price to have this done. But that's a very small market. If you're going to broaden the market to incorporate more and more, you've got to have an affordable service. And it's got to be responsive, of course. Mike's point about having people is a good idea. I don't know if you can run a training class for people that can do certain things, and you and your partner can divide up and run 2 crews.
That's what we were thinking.
Poor choice of terms on crews, because I wouldn't use that word. I would say a more appropriate terminology for what you're going to do with these people's belongings. Very, very important. And the other thing you should consider, I think, is this could be a phenomenal franchise. Really has a potential for a franchise. It could happen very quickly. You could handpick 4 or 5 locations that you could get to easily in starting it, LLC or something to form it, and then go there and hand-pick some people that do certain kinds of work, bring them into the fold very inexpensively, and then you have spread yourself and multiplied yourself very quickly with a little bit of income off the business you're doing. That will help you with what you're doing. I think you've got a ton of potential with this one. This is as good an idea as I've seen pop up lately, frankly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We thought
but,
the same thing,
About the
just
economics.
getting it going.
Yeah, about the economics. What, do you have any kind of a measurement of how you do this? Is it by the hour? Is it by the item? Is it by the emotional trauma or the tears? How do you measure this?
We were going to do it by the hour.
You do?
Based on the type of work. One rate for just packing, another rate for organizing. It's going to depend, on the job.
Okay.
And of course, we go in and do a free estimate and take it
Well,
from
when
there.
you work by the hour, then what you have is a job. You need to be able to find a way to multiply yourself so that you and she and another, not necessarily a partner, but another trusted person or two
Right.
can come in and you multiply yourself that way. Then the hourly piece gives you a little change off a lot of hours
Yes.
instead of a lot of change off of very few hours. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me get Paco first.
I just have a question about your logo. It's in the likeness of a very well-known video game. Do you see that being a risk in the future as you grow? Have you considered maybe a different logo option? It's a great logo, but as I mentioned before, I mean, as soon as I saw it, I made a connection with something else.
Well, that was the point. That's what we were thinking. It would connect. People would remember it. We had it professionally designed for us after we picked the name. But you're thinking that we could run into a problem down the road with that?
Yeah, I was wondering if you considered that being a risk.
I never even thought of it as a risk.
No.
The
Her
pack-
lo- if you could pull it up so we
Yeah.
can see it. There's a video game named
Right.
Pac-Man. And the font is the same.
Yeah. Hi.
So
I thought it would be something that people would remember because of the game.
it is. Like I
Okay.
said, I made
didn't-
the
it
connection
never
right away.
dawned on me that it might be a problem in the future.
Yeah.
We did have it checked because it was professionally done, that we could use this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We had someone that does, a design company do this for us.
Okay. I was just
And it was
wondering.
all checked out to make sure we could use it.
Cool.
Ms. Brenda.
Well, Mike is being handed to Brenda. I do want to caution you, there was one slide that you mentioned that you are the only ones in the area doing it,
That I could find.
that you could find, and that could very well be the case. We did have a presenter, it's probably been about 2 years ago.
Dana
that-
Lewis, she packs and she's a moving company. I was here
Yes.
for that.
Okay, and I have not heard, I don't know
Yeah.
if she's still around or not, but I'd be
Yes.
happy to,
She does. She-
pull the information if you.
No,
would
I
like.
know. She does it. She doesn't do it to this extent from what I could see on her website and from listening to her speak when she was here. She packs and moves. We don't move. We pack. Yes. Yes. They could move it. Yes.
That's not what I got from it. I got
Yeah,
from the
she-
fact that she was overseeing the packing, a woman's touch, I think is what it
Yeah.
is. But her overseeing the packing was kind of her cue. I really don't know. I just wanted to call it to your attention so that
Yeah.
you are aware of it. And, you never know. Sometimes getting together with her, there might be synergy between the two companies that you might be able to really boost each other
Well, there's a
forward.
company in Maryland that does what we're doing. She's been doing it for 10 years. And I connected with her
Good.
to see because she doesn't want to do this area.
That's great.
So we're
resource.
hoping we can,
Can you use her and her business as a model for you to talk in my opinion, with your planning group or whoever you're using this whiteboard effect
If
with.
she has time to talk to me, I'd love to.
Well,
Yeah, I did talk to her when I was.
Use
yeah.
her model of business.
Mhm.
I'm making a broad assumption, bad word, but I'm breaking a broad assumption that she's larger than two people doing the job in Maryland.
I would imagine, yes.
Therefore, I would think that since she's been there, I wouldn't reinvent the wheel if I were you. I would just basically capitalize on the relationship and just exploit it to the hilt for your own best interest. I mean, you
Okay.
don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to impress upon you in my mind that you don't have a lot of time to get this business up and running. Here I got a guy behind me already talking about franchising the business, and we haven't even got the thing off the ground. I mean, let's get, honestly,
Really?
this isn't against
I'm
lit.
gonna need
When
help,
I'm
yeah.
saying this is against my own feelings about how fast you got to move to capitalize on a great idea and a great business potential. That's where my head's at.
Speaking about fast to move, when she let me know what she was doing, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me that my husband was going to be away on Saturday. Can you come help me? Because we're in that very same situation. So, Miss Brenda?
Good to see you again.
Hi, nice to see you too, Ms. Brenda.
Absolutely, and congratulations on your new venture.
Thank you.
A couple of questions. The first thought that comes to my mind is the transition from the old business to totally different. How did we get there? So you knew that, as Lit said, it was time to bring closure to what was not profitable. Because if not profitable, then it's a
Exactly.
hobby. So we didn't see profitability there, and so you went back to the desk and said, okay, what can I do next? Or
That's what it
how
was.
did we get here?
That's exactly what it was. I wanted to see what I could do next. In the area, I was looking for jobs. They weren't happening. Either I was overqualified, well, pretty much I was overqualified. That was what was happening to me. And then just the thought of going back to a 9 to 5 when I did that, I mean, I worked a lot of hours. And even before that, I was a healthcare consultant, so, I was all over the place. I was never tied down to a desk, and I just didn't want to do that again.
So this thought came to you to do this type of business?
We started talking, and
Okay.
it's like, what can we do that's not a lot of overhead?
Okay.
No brick and mortar.
Right. And so then did you do a feasibility study as to what was already going on out there in this arena?
I did some research. I did
Okay.
not do a feasibility study.
Okay. So where are the competitors in this type of arena?
I just want to take a moment and
Thank you,
introduce
Dee.
myself. I'm Lois's partner, and I'm going to take this question because
Okay,
this is
great.
a really good question. When Lois was closing her business, which is it's very devastating. My husband and I retired here 16 years ago and retired from our jobs early, didn't know what to do, bought a business, had it for 5 years and knew that the business was bigger than us and sold it in a younger business. We owned 2 surf shops and we just decided, so having going through closing a business, you're emotionally devastated. You don't know what to keep, what to sell, what to do, or who to call. So when Lois decided that she was going to close her business, called me. Well, actually, her husband said, I'm out, call Dee. So when she called me, I automatically just went into overdrive and said, okay, well, the first thing we need to do is to get organized, figure out what you're keeping and what you're selling. So, of course, Lois's business side took and went into overdrive with her spreadsheet. So she put everything on her spreadsheet, and then it just, when you put it into that type of, business mode, you start to detach emotionally. And that's really when we decided that there's a business here. There's a business here. Because when you lose a parent, or when something tragic happens to you or your husband, your partner, and you realize that we have to downsize, whether it's financial, whether it's medical, there's always an emotional part of it. So it's really nice to have somebody come in and take the emotion out of it and just kind of hold your hand. And that's when we sat down with a cocktail and said, we could have not, and we've been great friends for 16 years. And we just realized that if we can do that for other people, a parent dies suddenly, you're in overdrive. You're thinking funeral, how am I getting everybody together? How am I going to plan this? And then all of a sudden you're left with the other parent and in a house that they never threw anything away, and here you live say you live in the beach and your parents are, in Atlanta. Well, you have what? Your company gives you 4 days. In 4 days, you're obviously not going to quit your job after 20, 25 years when you're that close to retirement yourself, but you have to figure out how you're going to bring it all together. And we just felt like there's such a strong need to have somebody, whether you're doing it, for an aging parent or, whomever. So that's how we came up with this business.
While you're here, so did you actually, thinking that and using your life experience to get from A to D, did you take it from your head to the paper and develop a plan? A POA or a plan of action or?
We did. I mean, we have been slow. Well, we had our first job immediately after Lois closed her business. We have one of our friends at the chamber who was going through a nasty divorce. She had to go back to New York for her job. They were transitioning to a place down here, and at the last minute, the husband said, "I'm out." And she was left with a whole house to pack up and a new job So as we were going through and packing up is when we really started clicking with, how we were going to plan this out. And we're still feeling it out,
Right.
And that's where the whiteboard comes in.
Right.
Where we said, what, we physically
Really need
to write this out on the
Yes.
whiteboard.
Formula.
But that's,
Did you charge that person?
yes.
We charged her a very low amount. She was our test case. Before we got our logo and all that, this was to decide, can we do this? Will it work? How many hours did it take to pack this
That's
house
right.
up?
This
Woman had more stuff in that house. I mean, she was clean and neat as a pin, but she had stuff. She went from 5,000 to 2,000 square feet.
And I'm on Mike's page with the two major words for me is supply and demand. That once the phone calls start, can I meet the demand of
Yeah.
the clientele, the people who need this, when it's just the two of us? And how to keep that, begin sustainability and retention to keep the business going once you get started.
I know we all want to obviously be your consultants here. All of us want to be your consultants. You've got the business, but we want to be your consultant. The bottom line is I've moved 8 times.
I understand.
I've moved 8 times. I've downsized, quote unquote, 3, and I'm ready to downsize again, and I still live in a condo. I live in a condo now because I've been downsizing to try to get to where I am today, but I still have to downsize. So all of us that are still, quote unquote, downsizing is the business I want you all to capitalize on as fast as possible, because there's an awful lot of people out there that haven't moved 8 times in their life. Maybe
Or have moved 8 times and don't want to do it again.
and don't want to do it again. And those are the people that we're really looking for you all to obviously get to this business. That's why I'm trying to say to you both, you've got to expedite whatever planning you're doing to try to get the model in place. Now I get on to an economic side. Do you bring the materials with you? And who's supplying all the raw materials to do all the packing? Are you, what's boxing alone is a very expensive side of moving.
One moment, please. He wanted to make sure that we got you on,
Okay.
on the tape.
My daughter worked for a architectural company. She is a graphic designer and marketer by trade. And there is a company and a couple companies out there that you can go direct to get all your raw materials, because as she did a lot of trade shows, so in the trade show industry you have to have all kinds of, especially when you're in the architectural trade, you have to have different size boxes and materials. So that's one thing that I did research. Now it's just a matter of who's going to give us the best price and how much do we have to order at one time.
I'm sure we would absolutely love to hear more and more and more. And I have to apologize, but we do have another presenter we want to get in today. So as we wind this portion up, we always like to ask you a question. And I'm sure that we would love to have you come back and maybe talk about this further. Or, of course, afterwards, feel free to chat with them individually.
Okay.
As we conclude, though, we want to know, what can we as a community do to support you?
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. I think that, word of mouth outbeats any type of advertising that you can do, whether, we all get 1,000, mailers in the mail and we glance over them. But we just recently did a talk show, and people that...
Oh, the radio talk show.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I really didn't think that anybody listened to that radio talk show. And
I got a phone call.
My husband, who is in Afghanistan right now, said, I heard you on the radio.
Oh, wow.
The whole base heard you on the radio. And so, so yes, word of mouth.
Very good.
Thank
We'll
you.
be happy to try to do that. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
We wish you much luck and success. Thank you. Thank you.